The problem of her speaking continues. I guess she hasn't quite gotten the message that she's not good at this, and we know it. And it's not just the guys from National Review and me. Those are not the only ones who know it. Her voters know it because her numbers are going down with independents who previously had shown an open mind toward her. So what does she do? More talking. And this morning, she continued the inane messaging that we have seen so many times over and over and over. This audience knows exactly what to expect now before I even play this soundbite. This is the moment where I wish I could have my audience speak as I speak. Audience, I will give you one guess what 3 words she used in addressing the In These Streets guys on what she just loves about America. It has to do with our dreams and ambitions, and I'm sure aspirations. I can't remember exactly, but she says exactly the same thing everywhere she goes. It's not a policy. It's just some amorphous goal that she's using to try to make herself sound like Barack Obama, but failing. Take a listen to SOT 2.
How do we get here? You smell good, you look good.
Oh, that's better than smelling bad. Thank you.
I know. You
Right?
smell great, you look great. Do you
appreciate you.
feel
That's very
great?
kind.
It has been a whirlwind for you.
I feel good. You know, listen, we have 23 days as of today until the election, and I am in these streets traveling and talking with folks, and I am out here doing the work of earning then the vote so that we can get to the job of continuing to move forward. And for me, that is about pushing for an opportunity economy, which is about tapping into the ambitions and the aspirations of folks.
Oh, God.
I know.
Stop it.
The ambitions, the aspirations, the incredible work ethic that exists in our community. I know the dreams that exist, but not everyone has started out on the same base in terms of being able to realize their goals and their dreams. So my plan is to build what I call an opportunity economy, which means giving people an opportunity to actually achieve those ambitions, those goals, and those dreams.
Oh my God, Charlie, I can't. Charlie, even my intellect cannot handle it. And I can't imagine what it is like for someone with your big brain. By the way, I just need to correct myself. The podcast is called The Shade Room. I misread a quote about what she says in it for the name of the podcast, which I confess I've never heard of. But what do you make of that stirring message?
What I make of it is that she can't think. See, I think, as I've said before, that people mistake what's going on here. They think she's not eloquent, or that she's nervous, or that she's just unused to speaking in public. But I think what we just saw was another example of how she just doesn't have anything in her head. She hasn't ever contrived a worldview. She doesn't have any ideological moorings. She's never thought about policy. The description of the economy she says she wants to build never gets beyond that. I mean, you're right to point out that she uses the same 3 words, but she's been tweeting recently, and that's why I have a plan. But she never says what it is. There's no second tweet. There's no link to anything else. Now, I understand that politics is about more than white papers. I understand you have to talk in generalities to some extent, show where you stand and for whom you stand. But there are very few politicians who limit their entire verbal output to cliches. They do at some point get into the details. And she just can't do it. I mean, a good example of this was in her interview with Stephanie Rule, Hardly a Hardball sit down, where she said, we need to make the rich pay their fair share. Now, that's a stump line. That's a cliche that has been uttered by Joe Biden and Barack Obama before her. And then Stephanie Rule said to her, well, what happens if Congress is run by Republicans and they refuse to raise the taxes you want? And she said 3 times, well, we have to. And then she said, and that's it. That's not an argument. That's not a position. There is nothing to that. That is just absolute fluff. I don't believe there is anything more to Kamala Harris than you just saw. And I think your listeners by this point should know I'm fair-minded enough to accept when that is not true. Look, I had a lot of problems with Barack Obama. I really did not like Barack Obama. Yeah, we could talk for days about why I didn't like Barack Obama. But obviously the man is smart, and obviously the man had thought about what he believed and what he wanted to do. Bill Clinton before him, even more so. Bill Clinton, by all accounts, was somebody who could answer the second question and the third question and the fourth question, who really was interested in policy as the governor of Arkansas and then as president of the United States. Harris has never shown in anything that she has done before or after this candidacy that she has any knowledge whatsoever beyond the first point. She just repeats these phrases and then moves on. And I don't think there's anything there.
I think you're being too hard on her. Listen to her in Scottsdale, Arizona, speaking specifically to what is at stake in this election.
So when we think about what's at stake in this election, whoa, it's packed with some stuff. It's packed with some fundamental stuff. I say rather articulately.
Oh my God. Charlie, do you want to take it all back? You feel bad now, right? I've proven you wrong.
The laugh is a giveaway too. She knows. She knows at one level that she's got nothing there.
She knows what we know. MBD, because I have to, I must show you and the audience. They know, but it bears reinforcing. She only has a couple of tricks. That's it. She's got a few tricks and she trots them out. And she tries each time to say it like it's the first time she's saying it, but there's nothing else there. It'd be one thing if these were sprinkled amidst more substantive policy prescriptions, but here she was sitting down with Roland Martin in SOT 1. Take a listen.
Why do you want this? Why do you want to be president? There's somebody who's saying, why should I trust her with the power of being commander-in-chief?
I love our country, Roland.
Oh,
I believe in the American people. And I know we are a people who have the character, that have ambition, that have aspirations, dreams.
I can't.
And
Stop it.
I intend to be a president who meets people with opportunities for them to not just get by, but get ahead.
No, it's what she calls an opportunity economy, MBD. That's what she came up with this clever phrase. My team doesn't show me all these before the show. They just tell me about them in the packet, and I see them as you guys see them. I really don't know how much more of this I can handle.
It's ludicrous that this person is running for president.
Yes.
I'm not sure it's an improvement on Joe Biden fundamentally. She's
be honest.
She's not really that more cogent than he is. She doesn't, produces that many more sentences than he does. And it's actually even worse when you really look at it, because not only is it substanceless, and she's trying to run this vibes campaign where you just fill in the blank. Like, oh, there's some stuff in this election, and you fill it in. But she's trying to run on this, oh, I'm a positive, fresh face for the future. But she's doing it with all these cliches. I'm in the streets. I'm doing the work. Now, compare that, to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump will go on stage, and he's like, it's like the difference between a nervous person on a date, that's Kamala Harris, and then, a pro like Trump with the opposite sex. Kamala says like, oh, I like you so much. Oh, that's really interesting. Trump comes to Detroit and says something like, I could be on one of my beaches. I could be on one of my golf resorts, but I'm here in Detroit because I want to save the country or something like that. And he's literally teasing them. Like, I don't really want to be here. Maybe Michigan, I kind of think it's kind of a dump in some ways, and they love him for it, right? It just shows so much more social intelligence and relatability than what Kamala is doing. What Kamala is doing is just, it looks like she's trying to survive the moment. Like she's constantly reaching for the life raft to pull her into the boat with each question.
It's so true. You're uncomfortable watching it.
Right. And that fundamentally you don't look at that performance in an interview, a low pressure interview with someone who's sympathetic to you. And you don't look at that performance and say, oh, that's what I want in an executive, which is what the president is. You look at Trump and he's just joking around with you. He's teasing, kind of negging the audience. He'll say something like, we're real conservative. Maybe we're a little liberal too, and just laugh. And he has that confidence. So, I think that's fundamentally why she is sinking in the polls. I mean, people don't want another, blank card in the White House. There's a way in which, the ticket the Democrats have put forward is sort of a fake, right? It's sort of like Joe Biden was kind of Barack Obama's affirmative action candidate for vice president. Like, okay, I need to fill out a white guy on my ticket to reassure people. And then Biden specifically casts Kamala Harris as a kind of affirmative action hire. Like, okay, I need a black woman on my ticket. And then she does the same thing to Tim Walz. Like, I need another affirmative action. So you get this feeling that they're just empty representations on the face of a progressive blob that does its own thinking. And that they're not really even in charge of themselves.
You know how much my family and I love our dogs. Yes, even Strudwick. It's been especially bad lately. Read the newsletter. There's an update. I can't imagine life without them, though sometimes I do. Not Thunder, but sometimes. But I love him. I love him, and I do enjoy most of my time with them. Look, my dogs have a great life. I'm sure your dogs have a great life too. But you and I both know that some dogs are not so lucky. This is why I'm so glad to tell you about Delta Rescue. I love Delta Rescue. Whenever you donate to anyone who claims to take care of animals, you've got to look for the words no kill. No kill. Otherwise, you know what happens if nobody adopts the dog or the cat. This, Delta Rescue, is the largest no-kill, care for life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, cats, horses too. They provide all the animals with shelter and safety and most of all, love. And they've been doing it now for more than 45 years. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions, and giving can bring tax benefits too. Speak with your estate planner about how you can grow your estate while helping animals in need, and check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more. We love Thunder and Strudwick, but would love for other dogs who need care and attention and a home to find those too. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.